told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
It was the post-Royal Rumble edition of Monday Night Raw, the final Raw here for the month of January. And we had not one but two elimination matches, elimination chamber matches, announced for the next pay-per-view. One of which is going to be contested for the first time ever for the United States Championship. The other one is going to crown a number one contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship. And we were supposed to get a Bianca Belair promo on this show tonight. I'm not sure exactly what happened because there was no Bianca Belair promo. Not a good look coming 1 week after they cut the Becky Lynch-Bayley steel cage match. And a lot of people were very upset about that. To cut the segment involving your Raw Women's Champion when midway through the show you announced that she was going to make an appearance. So I don't know where Bianca is. Maybe Alexa Bliss attacked her. Maybe Uncle Howdy kidnapped her. We don't know. We don't know. But the reason they're doing an Elimination Chamber match to crown a number one contender for the Raw Women's title is because Rhea Ripley has made her choice. She came out tonight and she announced that at WrestleMania she is going to challenge Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. She's trying to get redemption for her loss at WrestleMania 3 years ago. A loss that did not do her career any favors. It was a loss that it took her a very long time to recover from. But what I find most interesting about this, and the WrestleMania card has not come into full focus yet, but I think at this point we have a pretty good sense of what the WrestleMania card is looking like. It is very possible. It is entirely possible that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley are going to headline night one of WrestleMania. Now, that could change if, let's say, they strike a deal with Stone Cold Steve Austin to have a match on the show or something big like that. But that's kind of what it's looking like right now. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes will headline night two. And my guess is the match penciled in for the main event of night one, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. But to go back to the U.S. title, the fact that Austin Theory is defending his United States Championship inside the chamber, I think is designed to get the belt off of him ahead of a WrestleMania match with John Cena. That's what I think is going on here. Now, could he defend the U.S. title against John Cena if he's wrestling Cena at WrestleMania? Absolutely. And John Cena is a former United States champion. Remember the U.S. title open challenge? It's actually a great gimmick. But that match does not need the United States Championship. Why does John Cena have to wrestle somebody for the U.S. title? My guess is this is being done as a way to get the belt off of him ahead of that match. Because frankly, if you think about it, I mean, if you think logically about this, you know, for Austin Theory, beating John Cena at WrestleMania is a much bigger spot for him to be in than to be keeping or defending the United States Championship. I think we can all agree on that. But Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, and Bronson Reed have all qualified for the Chamber as of tonight. Theory obviously is in the match as well. Next week, Angelo Dawkins is going to be wrestling Damian Priest. Montez Ford is going to be facing Elias to fill the final 2 spots in the Chamber match. Over on the women's side, we already have 4 women who have placed in the Chamber even without qualifying matches, because Adam Pearce went and took the final 4 women from this year's Women's Royal Rumble match: Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Nikki Cross, and has placed them in the Chamber match. Yes, that includes, by the way, 2 women from SmackDown. So they are already in the qualifying match. That means that we have 2 spots left, one of which is going to be determined by a fatal 4-way match next week, and that will then leave 1 spot open to complete the pack. Let me just, before we even go any further, I want to give a shout out to my boy, the Mount Vernon Kid, one of our Sound Off superstars, and to Power Blind, who's also a brand new channel member. Hey, Power Blind, I salute you. This is my power salute to Power Blind. I will also tell you that Nick Grasso dropped one of our new Bane super chats on me, and I had the program open before we went live tonight. I was getting everything ready, and as super chats come in, they do still trigger and pop up on screen. So I'm getting ready to go live. I'm getting everything situated here. And all of a sudden I hear the Bane voice, and I think I may have peed a little bit. Okay? It scared the shit out of me. So Nick, I appreciate it, but you almost gave me a heart attack. Cody Rhodes, back in action here for the first time in about 7 months on Monday Night Raw, winning the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. He was in the main event tonight against Finn Balor. And we had 2 former Bullet Club members here in the main event. And I can't really say 2 former Bullet Club leaders. Can you really call Cody a leader of the Bullet Club? I don't think he would be considered a leader. So we'll say 2 former Bullet Club members. First time ever match here in the main event on Raw tonight. And we had Edge and Beth Phoenix, who appeared at the Rumble on Saturday. They made the Judgment Day their target. They came back out again tonight at the end of the show. Well, Edge was out at the beginning of the show too. But it was Edge and Beth yet again coming out to go after the Judgment Day. Cody gave a little salute to Edge and Beth, and it looks like that may be what keeps Cody occupied between now and WrestleMania Elimination Chamber. Looks like we may be in for a 6-person tag. Maybe with Beth Phoenix on one side and Rhea Ripley on the other. I thought this was a better show than Raw 30 last week. I enjoyed this show more than I did the show last week. I thought it was more focused. I thought everything had a purpose. It is incredible how it does help to have matches with stakes, as we had here tonight, 3 different qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. And also, you know, it's good to get somebody like Cody back on the show. That's a big name for Monday Night Raw to have back on the show. The man who is going to challenge in the main event of WrestleMania for the championship. No Bloodline on the show tonight. There were no Bloodline developments. You didn't have Sami Zayn. Well, I didn't expect Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens anyway. No Usos, no Roman Reigns. So when you don't have the Bloodline, and you don't have Brock Lesnar, and you're missing big names like that, it helps to get a big name back like Cody Rhodes. And so that is a big feather in their cap that they're able to get him back when they did. So I thought this was a good show. And it went by quicker than it usually does here tonight. This is your Monday Night Raw review. It is Monday, January 30th, 2023. You know me. I know you. Let's just move on. Hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. I want to thank you all again for helping me hit 72,000 subscribers here on the channel a few days ago. Now the march to 73K begins. Smash that like button. We're looking for at least 400 likes to do our Be the Booker segment later on here on the stream. Super chats are open, as I found out before I went live tonight and almost died. Super chats are open, though. I will be reading them a little bit later on. There's some new ones you can see down in the description if you are so inclined. And let's get right into this here, because this was the post-Royal Rumble edition of Raw. There have been some moments on post-Rumble Raws. I mean, the first moment I can remember was 1996. After Vader made his debut at the Royal Rumble, he made his Raw debut, and he ended up beating up Gorilla Monsoon. And a young Solomonster was mortified by what he saw. It was quite the way to debut Vader, and then he went away. He went away because he had shoulder problems, and that really was not good for his career, because he was never really the same beast that he was that first night in. So there were no beatdowns to Adam Pearce, unfortunately, tonight. Adam Pearce, by the way, Adam Pearce gets more television time than all of the members of the Bloodline combined. He has become the most valuable on-air persona in this company. What would they do without him? How much airtime does this guy get every single week? It's amazing. You know, Vince McMahon is actually able to make a deal to sell this company. I mean, he ought to just sell the fucking thing to Adam Pearce. It's incredible. We open, though, not with Adam Pearce. We open with the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble match, Cody Rhodes. His very first appearance live on Monday Night Raw since June. He was in a suit, because of course he was. He sleeps in that suit. The crowd chanted, "You deserve it." He said he's not the same person that he was when he started with this company, but he's thought a lot about when he started way back when, in Ohio Valley Wrestling, way back when OVW was still a developmental territory for WWE. He said he thought to himself that he would be WWE champion within 2 years of debuting in OVW. Oh, young, naive Cody, to be so young and naive again. So he said that he was also delusional enough to believe that he would be the next John Cena. Cody said that if he could write a letter to his 19-year-old self, he wondered whether he would tell him things like, hey, you're going to be dashing, you're going to be giving out grooming tips, and, you know, you're going to be dressing yourself up in face paint and all the different things that he was doing back then. He wondered if he would tell his younger self that in 2015 he would do what everybody told him not to do, or that he would become the first in his family to punch his ticket to go to the main event of WrestleMania. He said, truth be told, I would not tell 19-year-old me anything. He said that everything he's gone through has been 100% worth it. He said he heard the fans, you know, when he came out, singing his entrance song, Kingdom, which he says he has taken everywhere with him. He will continue to take everywhere with him. What does that mean? Let the rumors begin. Cody back to AEW. You know, there were people who still, even after Cody went to WWE last year, still didn't believe that he was truly with WWE. They thought he was an insider. He was a mole. Tony Khan sent to infiltrate the company. So I guess if these people are to be believed, after Cody wins the championship, he's going to take it back to AEW with him. So we should expect to see Cody back on Dynamite, I guess, in a few months with both belts over his shoulder. Cody said that he heard fans singing his song. He said that the first words in the song are his own. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Cody said WWE has more than one royal family. He said that in order for that to be true, he has to stand across from an entire bloodline. And he has to stand across from the tribal chief. That being Roman Reigns. And the fans booed and they started a Roman sucks chant. He said that WrestleMania was in 62 days. Said Reigns could still be the tribal chief. He could still be the head of the table. But one thing that he will not be is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And with that, his music played. Notice, he said WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Because I know there's a lot of people who think WWE is going to, or they should, split the titles before WrestleMania. They're not splitting the titles before WrestleMania. Just give up the ghost on that. It's not happening. We're this close to WrestleMania. The titles are not being split. So the Judgment Day's music interrupted. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Danger. They all walked out. Dominic said that Cody ruined their Royal Rumble plans, even though Rhea, right, Mommy, as he likes to call her, won the Women's Royal Rumble match. But he ruined their plans in the men's match. And Balor made a crack about something happening to Rey Mysterio, but they quickly moved on from it. But they alluded to the fact that Dominic had beaten him up, which is why Rey did not come out when they called his number. When Dominic came out, he had Rey's mask. But they quickly moved on from it. So Dominic told Cody, you know what would happen if you did that in prison, what he did to the Judgment Day in the Royal Rumble. Do you know what would happen if you did that in prison? And he said that you wouldn't be standing there right now. You would have got. That's right. That's right. Ex-con Dom. Letting Cody know the truth about how it is on the inside in the pokey. So Dominic told Cody that he owed him an apology. Cody cut him off. And he asked him, are you trying to scare me straight? Hardy har har. He said that he has an immense amount of respect for Dom's dad. Dominic said that he doesn't have respect for Rey or anyone else's dad, including Cody's dad. Crowd chanted, kick his ass. Cody said that he could play it safe before WrestleMania. He could try to stay healthy, or he could try to kick his ass. And he said, any of the three members of the Judgment Day, let's do it tonight. And before they had a chance to respond, Edge's music hit. He ran out like a wild man to continue with his beatdown of the Judgment Day from Saturday. Cody left the ring. He joined in on the attack. Big brawl. They went to break. When they came back from commercial, they made it official. Our main event tonight in the final segment, Cody Rhodes one-on-one against Finn Balor. Paulie Walnuts, how you doing? Just subscribe to the channel. Paulie he's so dedicated. He is so dedicated to these streams that he was at his Guma's house. And he left his Guma's house to go back home to sit down, fix a drink, and watch the Solomonster. Now that right there, that's dedication. And you can go back to your Guma when we're done here. So I thought this was fine. A fine promo from Cody. He didn't cry, which is good. But, more than that, the crowd took to him just fine. Because I know there were some people saying, because Sami Zayn, he's the biggest star in the company right now. He's so over. It's, the wrong move to put Cody in the match with Roman at WrestleMania and have him win the Rumble. He's not that over and all this other nonsense. The crowd took to him just fine in this segment. There was no rejection of him because they like Sami or they feel like it's Sami's time and it's not Cody's time. They've taken their time week by week with those video packages to tell the story of Cody and to tell the story of the injury at Hell in a Cell. That performance at Hell in a Cell in June it created a situation where this guy is a made man. What are you doing today, Batman? That's the voice that scared the shit out of me. What are you doing today, Batman? When you're not expecting it, you hear that. It's like, where's that coming from? Thank you, Zachariah. I'm going to get to your super chat in a little bit. Cody was a made man going into that Hell in a Cell. Half his fucking body was purple. Great matches with Seth Rollins. He was over then. And they took their time, one by one, week by week, with those video packages to tell his story. And again, I think it was a mistake to send him in there at number 30. They should have sent him in there a little bit earlier. The logic of the entire thing was backwards when you have Cody as the babyface entering at number 30 and winning and eliminating the heel who went all the way from number 1. But I would have at least sent Cody in there, mid-20s, 25 to 28, something like that, just to take away the element of predictability at the very end. But even at the Rumble on Saturday, when he won, big pop for it. No rejection of Cody, no booing or anything like that. He comes out tonight. You deserve it. So, I would like to think that puts to rest this argument that, he's not over enough for the spot. I also thought it was very smart sending out Dominic in the Judgment Day. Dominic is a heat magnet right now. And maybe WWE thought to themselves, you know what? We don't want to take a chance of sending him out there live at the beginning of the show in the off chance that maybe that crowd doesn't respond favorably to him. So why don't we just send the Judgment Day out there? Because it's guaranteed heat. It almost doesn't even matter who you send out there with Dominic. Dominic is going to get booed out of the building. And the people are going to want to see the babyface kick his ass. So I thought that was actually, whether that was part of their calculus or not, and I think it was. I thought that was very smart. But again, they don't have anything to worry about. For all the people who say that Cody is not over for the push that he's getting, he's not over enough to be in the spot that he's in. These people, they like to pretend that he's not over enough for the push that he's getting. And so far, they have proven those people wrong. And I don't see there being any issue between now and WrestleMania. We had our first of 3 qualifying matches for the U.S. title Elimination Chamber match here on this show. Seth Rollins, the former United States champion, one-on-one with Chad Gable. Corey Graves said that Rollins is worried about not having a path again to WrestleMania. This is the same story they did with him a year ago. So I don't know if they're just rehashing this story. He has a chance to go to WrestleMania as the U.S. champion, but if he doesn't, it sounds like they may be doing the same storyline with him 2 years in a row. Gable targeted the left knee of Rollins. Eventually, Rollins rallied, hit a buckle bomb. Gable went for a suplex. Rollins landed on his feet, super kicked him. Rollins got a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Rollins continued to sell the knee. He missed the stomp. He went for a pedigree. Gable countered into a pin for a 2 count. So they were trading rapid-fire pin attempts back and forth. Gable powered up Rollins. He slammed him face down with a cliffhanger DDT, covered him for a near fall. Gable then lowered the straps like he was Jerry Lawler in Memphis. Pulled down the straps, went for a suplex. Rollins stuffed it. Gable ducked an enziguri. He countered into an ankle lock. Rollins rolled Gable into a pin to break the hold. Gable, though, reapplied the ankle lock. He's like a little bulldog in there. He wouldn't give up. Rollins escaped it, or what did Vince McMahon call AJ Styles when he first debuted? Everyone has to get a nickname. So they gave him some kind of dog name. What did they call him? Remind me in the chat. What was the nickname when AJ first came in? It wasn't Bulldog, right? It was Pitbull. I don't remember. He gave him some stupid name. Surprised they don't give it to Gable here. Rollins escaped again, though, and he hit the pedigree. Now, he sold the knee for a few seconds. He didn't immediately go for the pin. But you're not hitting the fucking pedigree on Chad Gable and having Chad Gable kick out. It just wasn't going to happen. So even though it was delayed by a few seconds, eventually Rollins crawled over and he got the pin to qualify for the chamber match. Yes, I know that they used to call him the Redneck Rookie, but I don't think it was Pitbull. I don't think they called him Pitbull. I think it was some other name. I'll look it up after. Just made me, saying that out loud made me think of it. No, I don't mean that Pitbull. Not Mr. 305. That's a different Pitbull. No mystery regarding the outcome here. But really good for the time they gave it, which was right around 10 minutes. Chad Gable deserves better. He's getting television time, which is great, but Chad Gable deserves better. But look, at the end of the day, if it's a choice between Seth Rollins and Chad Gable for who is going to be in one of your Elimination Chamber matches at the next pay-per-view, it ain't going to be Chad Gable. It's going to be Seth Rollins in that spot. You go with your stars. Rollins is the star. That's the choice. It does feel to me, because now it's been going on for months now, that Rollins has been in contention for or defending the United States Championship. He's been in the U.S. title hunt for a while. This is one of the problems with them still having the two titles unified on Roman Reigns, is that if they don't want Seth Rollins back with Roman Reigns, which obviously right now they don't, then what is Rollins fighting for? Raw is without a champion. Roman Reigns rarely appears on Monday nights. Last week was one of the rare times he's even on the show, let alone wrestle. When was the last time Roman Reigns wrestled on Monday Night Raw? The U.S. title is the de facto top championship now on Monday nights. So Rollins, it made sense for him to be in that hunt, but now it just feels like he's overstayed his welcome. He should be doing more. When Cody wins the championship, it's only natural to come back to Cody and Rollins for the top title. Not right away. I wouldn't do that right away. First feud coming out of WrestleMania if Cody wins the title at WrestleMania. And it's not a guarantee that he will. I think he will. But it is not a guarantee that Cody Rhodes is going to win at WrestleMania. They could very well want to get to that 1,000-day mark, which isn't until the end of May, with Roman Reigns as the champion. There's always that possibility. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. But let's say Cody does, right? He wins the championship at WrestleMania. Cody and Rollins could be a SummerSlam main event or co-main event. You could do the match there, with Rollins trying to avenge all the losses that he took to Cody last year, and you get him back into the World Championship picture. And then, assuming they do split the belts after WrestleMania, which they absolutely should, draft or no draft, they should be splitting the title shortly after WrestleMania. Champion on Raw, champion on SmackDown. You have Cody on Raw doing his thing. Over on SmackDown, and it may take the rest of the year, it may happen in the summer, but that Universal Championship is going to belong to Gunther. You can let Gunther do his thing at the top of the card on SmackDown. Once he sheds the Intercontinental title, Sheamus has his moment at WrestleMania, he'll be free and clear. You could build him up into Universal title contention. Doesn't have to be Cody and Gunther. Again, he could do his thing on Raw, and he could do his thing on SmackDown. It's perfect. We had Candice LeRae with Mia Yim. They can call her Michin all they want to. Mia Yim. In the corner of Candice LeRae against Io Sky, who had Bayley and Dakota Kai in her corner. These two had a great match years ago. I think it was about 4 years ago now at TakeOver in Toronto. Great match. This was not that. A minute in, they did a picture-in-picture to show Dave Bautista's new Knock at the Cabin movie, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's coming out on Friday. Boy, they had a ton of ads for this movie all over this show. So in the middle of this match, they cut to a trailer for that and then came right back to the match. And then 60 seconds later, it was right back to a full commercial break. So again, hard to really get into a match like this when you're constantly going back and forth in and out of breaks. With Candice at ringside, Io hit a wild suicide dive. Candice came back with a dive of her own after that. Candice put her down with a missile drop kick, and Candice caught Io on the middle rope, hit a big German suplex from the middle rope for a near fall. A little while later, Io caught Candice in the electric chair position, which Candice countered into a poison Rana. LeRae put Sky on the ropes and joined her, but Io shoved her off to the mat. She tried for her moonsault. Candice got her knees up. Candice then caught her with an inside cradle. She had the visual pin, but the referee was distracted by Bayley and Dakota Kai outside. Mia eventually walked over. Eventually, she sauntered over to the heels outside the ring. She didn't really do a whole hell of a lot to help her friend out here. But eventually, she walked around to the other side of the ring to confront Bayley and to confront Dakota. Once the referee saw the cradle, Io then kicked out at 2. Candice followed with a code breaker. Bayley then distracted Candice, who was then rolled up and pinned by Io. Hated the finish. Terrible finish. Second half of the match was better than the first half. But honestly, if you want to see what these two are capable of, you need to go find their match from TakeOver Toronto. What I do remember about that is it stole the show. That was my match of the night when I talked about it on the podcast at the time. And this is going back to 2019 now, TakeOver Toronto. They stole the show that night. It's not what this was. Then it was time for Rhea Ripley to make her choice. Rhea Ripley, the winner of the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match, out to the ring to make her choice. Which champion would she be challenging at WrestleMania this year? So she had the ring all to herself. No other members of Judgment Day. It was just Rhea. Rhea said that she outlasted 29 other women from the number one spot to win the Royal Rumble, and now she gets to choose the champion that she is going to face at WrestleMania. 3 years ago, as soon as she said 3 years ago, I already knew who the choice was. 3 years ago, she was 24 years old, just getting started, and she was the NXT Women's Champion. And she challenged Charlotte Flair to a match. And at WrestleMania that year, Charlotte put her in her place. Funny thing about Charlotte, she says, is that she's always somehow in the title picture. And she hates to give her credit, but she seems to get better each year. She said the normal flow in WWE is that Charlotte Flair is at the top, but she's the disruptor. She doesn't like the natural formula. And she doesn't like things being overplayed. So Charlotte, I advise you to enjoy everyone bowing down to the Queen, because they're about to rise to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She puts Charlotte in her place. She said, Charlotte Flair, I choose you. What is she, Pikachu? Charlotte Flair, I choose you, she said. I remember that match well. That match was supposed to take place at Raymond James Stadium, and instead it took place inside of an empty warehouse in front of no fans. And Rhea Ripley lost her NXT championship, and she wasn't the same after that. And it took her a very, very long time. Honestly, not until she joined the Judgment Day and went heel. Up until that point, whatever they had her doing, the tag team with Nikki Cross, all of it was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. She was like a rudderless ship until she joined the Judgment Day and pledged her allegiance and went heel. And ever since then, she has been one of the shining stars on Monday nights. And so now the story, obviously the history is there. The story is there. The redemption arc for Rhea 3 years later, coming back around to Charlotte Flair. This time she's going to try to one-up her and try to get her revenge. And assuming that's the plan, and it better fucking be, I'm okay with that. The match I wanted to see was Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And that was right there for them. The match was right there for them. They didn't take it. They're going in a different direction. It's not the match I would have planned to do. But if they do this right, with the correct outcome, because we know these two can have a good match. We've seen them have good matches. In fact, that match, even though it was in an empty warehouse, was actually a very good match that they had. An excellent match at WrestleMania 36. Now they're going to be in front of a stadium full of thousands of people. Rhea has more experience now than she did then. She's more comfortable in her own skin than she was back then. This is a different Rhea Ripley than the one who went into the PC that day at WrestleMania. So they have the potential to go out there and blow away the match they had back then. If the outcome here is what it should be, then this could be a great way to kind of close that chapter of the story and have Rhea get her revenge and win the championship. Any other outcome to this is bogus. Any other outcome to this is booking malpractice. So as long as they do the right thing, and this is a Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley match booked under Triple H, whereas previously it was a match booked by Vince McMahon. So I have hope that this time they'll get it right. And if that's the case, then I don't have an issue with that. What does it mean for the Judgment Day, though? Because Rhea Ripley is part of this faction that is a part of Monday Night Raw. And so, I wrote down here, what does that mean for the Judgment Day if she wins? And I was thinking, if there is a draft after WrestleMania, and what's the fucking point of even having one? My God, we have an Elimination Chamber match to crown a number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship with two women from SmackDown. We have Raquel and Liv Morgan, who were in the match. So why even fucking bother with a draft But if they have one, and we don't know that they will, then they could always move the entire group, I guess, over to the blue brand, because Rhea Ripley is part of the Judgment Day, and I don't want to see that end. Just because she chooses to go after a title on a different brand, I would hate to think that that would be the end of Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day. So as long as they, where one goes, the others go, then I think that's fine. But yeah, it's not as if, we keep talking about a draft. I mean, does it even matter? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. We're only 40 away from our likes goal. That's awesome. So keep hitting that thumbs up button for me. You know who I give a thumbs up to? Kathy Kelly. Absolutely. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Seth Rollins. Said he's going to beat 5 other dudes inside the chamber and take the U.S. title back from Austin Theory. He was acting like a clown here in this segment. Kathy asked him about Logan Paul eliminating him from the Royal Rumble match, and then we got said clown. We got sad clown Seth Rollins, and then he walked off. So there you go. Just to let you know that what we had at the Royal Rumble with Rollins being eliminated by Logan Paul, that wasn't just a one-off. This is building to something. It's building to WrestleMania. It could be building to a United States Championship match if Rollins wins that chamber match. It's always possible. We got our second Elimination Chamber. We have 3 of these things on the show tonight. Again, when there are stakes on the line, it does get you at least a little bit more invested. It depends on who's involved. Case in point, this next match here. But that's one of the things I liked about the show tonight. Like I said, everything felt like it had a purpose, which is not always the case on these Raw shows. But it does help pass the time a little bit better when there are stakes that are on the line. So we got our second Elimination Chamber qualifying match of the night with Johnny Gargano and his bland entrance music against Baron Corbin, who's just bland. Dexter Lumis was in Johnny's corner. Corbin was in control until Gargano hit a slingshot spear and a pair of super kicks for a 2 count. Corbin came back with a deep 6 for a near fall. And Gargano avoided a charge, so Corbin went shoulder first into the ring post, and Corbin fell out of the ring. Gargano followed with a suicide dive. JBL was outside. So JBL was in Corbin's corner, as he is every week. And he was all pissed off at Johnny Gargano. And he was, making like maybe he was going to stop Gargano from climbing, back into the ring. When all of a sudden, Dexter Lumis walked over. And Dexter Lumis pulls an axe out from underneath his shirt. This guy just randomly walks around with a hatchet. So he pulls an axe out from underneath his shirt, and he put the axe through JBL's hat, which was on the announce desk. It was not on his head. I should probably clarify when I say that. Although that would have been fucking cool. But no, the hat was not on JBL's head at the time. It was sitting on the announce desk. So JBL fell on his ass, and he's acting all afraid. In the ring, Gargano rolled up Corbin for the surprise pin to advance to the chamber. So we got another roll-up finish here on this show. What more can you say? It was a Baron Corbin match. Right? I mean, what else is there to say? We got a VIP lounge segment with MVP, and his guest was the United States champion, Austin Theory. Theory threw some shade early on at MVP by telling him that he used to watch the VIP lounge when he was a little kid. When he was just a little boy, he would watch MVP on TV. He told MVP he wanted to help make the VIP lounge relevant again. So first thing he did was suggest the name VIP Lounge Live. Then he changed it to Austin Theory Live. MVP turned the focus on Theory entering the Elimination Chamber match. He reminded us that Brock Lesnar F5'd him off the top of one of the pods last year inside the chamber. Yet here he stands. He says no amount of aggression can stop him. MVP said that he liked what Theory was saying, and he was once himself a young, brash United States champion. In fact, he pointed out that many years ago in an Elimination Chamber match, and I have no memory of this, but he did claim that The Undertaker did the same thing to him, that The Undertaker threw him off the top of one of the pods. Again, I have no recollection of this at all, but he claims it happened, so I'll take his word for it. But I would love to know what year was that? What year is MVP referencing? It's got to be like 2008, 2009, probably something like that. MVP said that he also knew that Theory was afraid and he wasn't showing it, and then he warned him that you never know who might end up in the match. And Theory wondered if that was a threat. MVP spoke about Bobby Lashley potentially being inside the chamber. Theory said that he already beat Lashley twice, said Lashley was not going to be in the chamber. So it was 2008? I figured it was. I figured it was somewhere in that range. 2008. Okay, so Undertaker probably won, right? And that's how we got the match with Edge at WrestleMania, I'm assuming. So MVP said that he and Lashley, they're no longer business partners, so he doesn't want to speak on Lashley's behalf. But Theory should be worried about his health. And Theory said MVP ought to be worried about his own health and Lashley's health. Because everybody knows Lashley is MVP's meal ticket, said that his meal ticket was about to be eaten up by Brock Lesnar. That brought out Bobby Lashley, who was in his gear. He was ready to wrestle. He came down to the ring. MVP tried to talk him down. He was the only thing separating Lashley from Austin Theory. Austin Theory kept running his mouth. He told Lashley, listen to your daddy. And at that point, you could see MVP throw his hands up like, all right. And he let Lashley go, and so Lashley went right after Theory and roughed him up. He went to go give him a spear. Theory, though, pulled MVP into the line of fire, and he took a weak-looking spear. But he sold it like, he sold it, I don't know. He sold it like he was having an appendicitis attack. He was rolling around, writhing on the ground. And Theory ran away. So Lashley looked down at MVP as the segment, as they cut away. He was looking down at MVP on the mat, and he had this look of regret on his face. So this really wasn't much of a segment, honestly. If there is going to be a Hurt Business reunion, it looks like it's going to be a while. It's going to have to make some amends before that could happen. And so they're taking their time with it, if it happens. It certainly, a couple weeks ago, it looked like it was inevitable. Now, who knows? But if we are going to get some kind of Hurt Business reunion, maybe it happens. Look, we know Lashley is going to have another match with Brock Lesnar. And it may not be at the Chamber. I think that's the WrestleMania match. So either leading into WrestleMania or perhaps at WrestleMania, maybe that's when we see a reunion happen. Maybe Lashley, he gets some reinforcements against Brock. So I think if it does happen, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get there. After the break, everyone's favorite, The Miz, was in the ring. Already in the ring. And he was on the mic. He was very upset about his treatment at Raw 30 last week. He was very upset about his treatment in the Royal Rumble match this year, where he was the first man eliminated. There's Asuka. See, Asuka, when she pops up on the screen here, that's Asuka from Sweeter Times. This is not the murder clown Asuka that we have now on TV. That's Asuka smiling, giving the thumbs up. Fuck that Asuka. We've got murder clown Asuka now, who drips blue goo out of her mouth when she speaks. So The Miz demanded to be treated with respect. Adam Pearce, the MVP of WWE, the true MVP, not the one that had the appendicitis attack in the ring in the previous segment. Adam Pearce comes out, and he interrupts, and he said that Miz wants an opportunity. Well, it just so happens that I have a man who has been banging on my door, looking for an opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the newest member of the Monday Night Raw roster, and his name is Rick Boogs. And out comes Rick Boogs. He's doing air drums. He did that for the entire match. He's doing air drums, right? He's all hyped up. 10 cups of coffee before he comes out, just like the Rick Boogs of old on SmackDown. Boogs comes out, and this was his first appearance, if you remember, since he suffered that knee injury At WrestleMania, that was last year. It was him and Nakamura against the Usos. Tried to pick up both Usos on his shoulders. His knee gave out. It buckled. It was a sad injury because on that stage, for something like that to happen at WrestleMania, I think that was the opening match. It was a tough spot, and it was a pretty bad injury, but now he's back after almost a year, and he's got tassels now. Just like the Ultimate Warrior or Kerry Von Erich, he's got the tassels attached to the tops of his boots. So that's part of his new ring gear now. Miz argued that he was in a $10,000 double-breasted suit that his double-breasted wife bought for him, so he couldn't possibly wrestle. He's not ready to wrestle. Pierce sent a referee down to make it official. Miz tried to bail. Boogs, though, brought him back inside, and he beat him quickly with a press slam. And so ends the Nakamura Boogs. I think I'm on the booze. So ends the combo, the tag team, the alliance, the partnership of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, which was over, but it's for the better. Shinsuke Nakamura is not doing anything at the moment on TV, but if he is to be used again, it should be as a single. I will not cry over the fact that we no longer have a Rick Boogs Shinsuke Nakamura tag team, so I think that's for the better. Backstage, we saw Chad Gable and Otis walking down the hallway, and they walked right past the Maximum Male models. Maxine Dupree, Mansois Massé. They will go walking by. And Mason Mansour, they see, I have to assume they're talking about Otis and not Gable. And they talk about how they find him disgusting and grotesque. But Maxine has a different view. Maxine says, he's perfect. I thought to myself, uh-oh. I don't like where this is headed. Now, Otis, we've seen Otis, go back to the Mandy Rose stuff, right? We've seen Otis do comedy. Otis can be very entertaining. I like Otis. So maybe it ends up being entertaining, possibly. I will keep an open mind on this. I have seen some of the Maximum Male Model skits that they do. It's pretty much just exclusively now on YouTube. And I've seen some of them. Some of them have popped up for me when I'm on the WWE YouTube channel. And some of them are actually entertaining because now they've just embraced the fact that this thing is nothing but just pure comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously. And they can probably get away with things more on YouTube than they can having it written for them on TV. What they probably come up with on their own in this YouTube shit is, I'm sure, better than whatever would be written for them to do on SmackDown or on Raw. So we'll see where this goes. But it could definitely go down a bad path. I'm a little worried. But if anybody can make it work, I think Otis can make it work. So they recapped the entire Bloodline angle. They showed it. They showed the whole angle from the end of Royal Rumble on Saturday. And we were told to tune into SmackDown on Friday night to find out what's next for the Bloodline. What a tease. Nothing new at all. Nothing new at all. Just a tease for SmackDown on Friday night. It's almost like they want people to tune into their show on Friday. What a concept. I'm shocked by this. Bayley was out next by herself, and she had a microphone. And she was very proud of eliminating Becky Lynch from the Royal Rumble match. Becky Lynch came out on stage. She told Bayley to shut up, called her a stupid fool. Lynch said that they were not done until the man says that they're done. I saw Ric Flair, by the way, at Raw 30 last week, claimed that he went to go find Becky Lynch so that he could apologize to her. He apologized to Becky Lynch for all the comments that he made about her last year and all the stuff about the man, and you're taking my trademark away from me. You think you're the man, you're not the man, and you know how insecure Ric Flair can be. So he claims he went over to apologize to Becky Lynch. He was the bigger man. So I assume Becky accepted his apology, and then of course he went off to the bar to spend the rest of his night. So Becky said that she's already won the Royal Rumble once before. She didn't really care so much about going in there and losing, because so long as she prevented the three of them from winning, which is a pretty shitty thing to say. I've already won it before. I didn't really care. That's something a heel would say. Like, of course you care. You should absolutely care. If it were me, I would want to win the Royal Rumble every year. Fuck everybody else. You're competing for a championship main event at WrestleMania. Why would you not want to win the Royal Rumble? She can pretend all she wants to. We see right through it. That's what she claimed. Bayley accused Becky of making excuses, which she absolutely was. Becky said robbing the fans of a cage match last week is making excuses. And she accused Bayley of a 3-on-1, all the 3-on-1 attacks, because she's afraid of facing her in a 1-on-1 match. Bayley said Becky has to make everything about her. And then, because Bayley was wearing shades. At that point, she took off her glasses and she got serious. And she called her Rebecca. She said, I don't like you, Rebecca. I think you're overrated. You're not even good enough for your husband, Seth Rollins. The only reason that he married you is because he knocked you up. I thought, that's ice cold. On the woman's birthday. Today was Becky Lynch's birthday. And this woman is out here making comments like this on her birthday. Becky said that here this entire time, I thought we were just fighting over wrestling. But whatever this bitterness is that you have towards me, it all started 10 years ago in Orlando in NXT. So she said, what say you, next week, Raw just so happens to be in Orlando, we have ourselves the match that we were supposed to have last week. You and me inside a steel cage. Bayley refused. Becky said, I thought you might say that. I'll be right back. And Becky went to the back. She came back out, dragging Dakota Kai, who had her leg trapped in a chair. And Becky took the chair, and she was threatening to smash her leg with the chair until Bayley, or unless Bayley, accepted her challenge. And Bayley got out of the ring, and she's all the way at the other, end of the aisle by the ring. Becky's on stage. And Bayley is looking concerned, and Becky's about to smash Dakota's leg, and Bayley says, okay, I accept. You've got your match. And I thought, well, that's interesting, because, here I thought Bayley was just, being the heel that she is, using these two. But she showed genuine concern here for Dakota Kai. So she accepted the match. And then Becky said, you might want to check on Io Sky in the back. We never did find out what happened to Io Sky. That was the end of the segment. So at least we're going to get the cage match that they promised us last week. They're going to do it next week instead. The report is that Becky was supposed to win that match. So we'll see if they stick to the same booking or if they change things up. Backstage, guess who? It was Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce said he had a couple of big announcements. One was that the cage match was official for next week between Becky and Bayley. Thank you very much, Captain Obvious. The other one is that there would be not one but two Elimination Chamber matches this year. We know about the U.S. Championship one. He said the other one was going to be to crown a number one contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship now that Rhea Ripley has chosen Charlotte Flair. The first 4 spots have already been filled in the Women's Chamber with the final 4 women who were in the Royal Rumble match this year. That includes Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Asuka, with qualifiers to come for the final 2 spots. Next week on Raw, we're getting a fatal 4-way match. The winner of that match will qualify for one of those spots. And in the fatal 4-way, it will be Mia Yim. It will be Candice LeRae. It will be Piper Niven. No more Doudrop. If you missed the Royal Rumble, Doudrop is dead. Long live Piper Niven. So it'll be her or the returning Carmella. And that is the fatal 4-way for next week. That's how they'll fill that spot. But that leaves one spot open. And I am hoping against hope that it is not filled by Ronda Rousey. I have a feeling it might be. See, what I would do, here's what I think would make sense. And they didn't say anything about this, but we have a cage match next week between Becky and Bayley, both of whom are on Monday Night Raw, both of whom have no obvious path to WrestleMania. And you know Becky, more so than Bayley, they're going to want her to be in a big match at WrestleMania. So it would only make sense for that last spot to be filled by the winner of the cage match next week between Becky and Bayley. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but that would be the call that I would make. That would seem to make the most sense. Becky wins, and you get her some more star power there inside the women's chamber at the next pay-per-view. As far as who should be challenging Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, I think it should be Asuka. If they're not going to do Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, I think the match should be Bianca Belair against the Murder Clown. If they want to add Becky and make it a triple threat, I mean, you could do that. I don't see a need to really convolute things, but I legitimately don't see another match for Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. You're not going to have a WrestleMania 2 nights and not have a big match for Becky Lynch. She's the top star in your women's division. And we heard all these reports weeks and weeks ago that Becky and Ronda, it's not happening. And really, at this point, why would it? There's no heat for it. All the heat that there was and the excitement that there was for Becky and Ronda, that was 4 years ago. Right? That was 4 years ago now. It's gone, especially after this last run that Ronda had. Is anybody else excited? I mean, is there anybody left who's excited to see Becky Lynch against Ronda Rousey? So I'm not sure what you do with Becky unless, frankly, you either have her challenging Bianca, which has been done before. If the match is Becky and Bianca, then it has to end with Bianca turning heel, whether she loses the championship or she retains. But it wouldn't make sense for her to retain and go heel. It would make more sense for her to lose, 1 year after winning it, and then go heel. Because I think Bianca Belair is due for a heel turn. She's starting to get very stale. So they could go that way, but you're still doing Becky and Bianca, which is a match that's been done many times already, including last year's WrestleMania. So we'll see how they fill that final spot. But that was not the end of the segment because Chelsea Green walked in. Chelsea Green made her return to WWE at the Royal Rumble. She was in there for 5 seconds. They gave her the Bushwhacker elimination this year. She was in, she was out. The only thing she didn't do was do the Bushwhacker march to the back. That would have been great. She could have come down to the ring like this. She gets dumped out. I think Rhea was the one who eliminated her. Lands on her feet and just marches to the back. There it is. You may as well just go all the way with it. Just give her the whole Bushwhacker Luke elimination. So she walked in. She asked Adam Pearce, "Are you the manager?" She says, "I wanted to talk to the manager about the accommodations." She said that Chelsea Green is back. Where's the private room? Where's the private dressing room? Where's the Swiss chocolate? Adam Pearce went off with her to go find her Swiss chocolate. The hot mess character really worked for her in Impact. I said this during the Rumble review. I think it could work for her in WWE. There was a post-show promo they put up on YouTube where she was acting all crazy. I didn't really get eliminated. I'm going to, I don't know if she said she's going to sue them or I'm going to sue you or whatever. She was acting all crazy. This wasn't so much her acting crazy. This was just her acting all stuck up. But I think if they go that route, it worked once before. She played that character very well. I think something similar could work here in this company as well. We got our third and final for the night. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This one was between Dolph Ziggler and Bronson Reed. And we got footage from earlier today of Mustafa Ali. He was interrupting a backstage Dolph Ziggler promo. Once again pointing out that Ziggler is having an opportunity handed to him. How about that? And Corey Graves made a comment when they came back on commentary. He says, Mustafa Ali has turned into the most annoying person on this show. And I thought to myself, he's right. He is fucking annoying. I hope that's the point. I would hope that's the point of this, because if not, he's pretty fucking annoying. So Ziggler jumped out to a quick start. Reed knocked him down, took control of the match. Ziggler came back with a DDT, got a near fall. Ziggler followed up with a zigzag for another near fall. That was one near fall too many. I can understand the zigzag. Like that I get, because that's his finish. And I think you want to show Bronson Reed kicking out of this guy's finish. Say what you want about Ziggler. He's still former world champion. He's won all these accolades, Money in the Bank, all that stuff. Having Bronson Reed kick out of his finish, or one of his finishes, I guess you could say the Famouser is another one, but I'm okay with that. But like 2 near falls here, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I would have had him fucking wreck this guy. The match didn't go long anyway. It was fine, but I wouldn't have done 2 near falls here. So Reed rallied with a power bomb, and then my favorite part of all the Bronson Reed matches, he went up top and he hit his big tsunami splash.
Tsunami! The tsunami splash!
Love it. Love the tsunami splash. He comes down with all that force, with all that weight. It's a devastating fucking finish. It looks great. A lot of people use top rope splashes, frog splashes. Montez Ford gets all the height on his. But there's nobody right now in this company who comes down with as much force and makes it look as devastating and brutal as Bronson Reed does. And so he finished off Dolph Ziggler. And I will tell you that I think of all the Triple H hires or rehires, the people that he's brought back, so far, and he hasn't had that many matches, but so far, Bronson Reed is the one that has been the most successful. Because Triple H brought back a lot of people. This is the one that I've enjoyed the most. And we're just getting started with this guy. He squashed a few people on TV. Now he's going to the Elimination Chamber. Now he's going to be in the Chamber match. He could very well win. I don't think he will. If I were booking this, I would put the belt on this guy, and I'd be giving him the monster push on Monday Night Raw. If it's me, Bronson Reed is going over and winning the U.S. title at the Elimination Chamber. Because like I said, Austin Theory, if he's wrestling John Cena at WrestleMania, he don't need that U.S. title. And I think Seth Rollins is going to be off doing something with Logan Paul. And that could be a U.S. title match also, but again, it doesn't have to be. But I'm all in on Bronson Reed. And strapping the rocket to this guy as far as the monster push that they give people sometimes, right? Give him the monster push. He's been very impressive with what little we've seen from him so far. Speaking of John Cena, look who just popped up on screen. Look at this. Kathy Kelly was in the back, and she interviewed Carmella. First time in 7 months. She was interrupted by Asuka. And this was weird, because Asuka walked up. It's not very often we see Asuka not only with no face paint, but street clothes. And she had these red glitter gloves that were, on her hands. But just wearing basic clothes. And she walked in. She didn't say anything. She wasn't dancing around like a clown. She wasn't, screaming in Japanese. And she wasn't smiling. And she wasn't dancing. And Carmella was about to blow her off, but Asuka smiled. Asuka smirked at her. And she had blue goo, not blue chew, blue goo all over her teeth. Like she had just put her face in the toilet bowl or something. And Carmella was completely grossed out by this, and she walked off. And Asuka blue goo began dripping down her chin onto her chest as she smiled. I hereby dub the Asuka drip. And then they cut back to the announcers who were all freaked out by what they just saw. So we go back to a different part of the locker room area. Rick Boogs was celebrating his return with the Street Profits. Elias was there as well. He didn't look overly enthusiastic, but come to think of it, I don't know why he was standing there. The Street Profits were very happy to see Rick Boogs. Elias was standing there like, he was kind of nonplussed by the whole thing. Byron Saxton asked Boogs how it felt to be back, and he screamed. I would do my Rick Boogs, impression here, but I would wake up the entire neighborhood if I did. But it sounded a little something like this.
Yeah! I'm happy to be back, yeah! Rick Boogs!
can't do Rick Boogs. Only Rick Boogs can do Rick Boogs. The guy's a maniac. He's out of his mind. So then he calmed down a little bit. And he said that being back in front of the WWE Universe, he says it's electric. He says it's been a long road to recovery, but it is official. Rick Boogs is back. And Montez Ford said, tonight, we're going to take you out on the town. And off he went to go get ready. They were going to take him out. Byron said that next Monday, the Street Profits and Elias, all three of them, are going to have an opportunity to qualify for the United States Championship Chamber match. He said that it will be Angelo Dawkins one-on-one with Damian Priest. Montez Ford is going to wrestle Elias, which is interesting. I mean, it's basically, come on. It's basically an automatic buy from Montez Ford into the chamber match. So I'm looking at these matches. Damian Priest is not losing to Angelo Dawkins, but I cannot imagine that Montez Ford loses to Elias. So it looks like Priest is going to be in and Montez Ford is going to be in. And I think that's very interesting, giving Montez Ford some of that single spotlight, which I think is a sign of what's to come in the not too distant future. In fact, this year, I think it'll happen. So he's going to very likely end up with that spot in the chamber match. And, if you force me to make an early pick for this year's men's Money in the Bank, Montez Ford would be on my list. I would not pick Montez Ford to win. My early pick, if you ask me who do I think right now, and it's still very early. We don't, when is Money in the Bank? It's July, but LA Knight would be my pick to win. But Montez Ford would be in the conversation. If I were booking it, Montez Ford will be in the Money in the Bank match. So I think that him being in this chamber match is a sign of what's to come later this year. I will say the best thing to happen to Elias, I think, in the end, will be Rick Boogs coming back and being on Monday Night Raw. Now, maybe they'll have a match. Maybe they'll feud at first, but I think ultimately this is going to be a new tag team. It will give Elias something to do. So Elias should be very grateful that Rick Boogs is on Raw, because I think the two of them, they're going to end up together. So instead of Elias hanging out with Matt Riddle and his bong and banging his bong, he's going to be doing shit with Rick Boogs. They're going to be singing. They're going to be air guitaring or air drumming or whatever the hell it is. He was air drumming all night long. They're going to be a new tag team. You watch. Now, late in the show, they put a graphic up on screen. And they were promoting that Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, after her win over Alexa Bliss at the Royal Rumble, was going to be here tonight for a promo. We were going to hear from the champion. And then we did not hear from the champion. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if this is going to end up being an angle where Alexa Bliss attacked her. Probably not. I think it just got cut for time. And I said at the beginning of the stream, it's bad luck. It's bad luck. After they cut the steel cage match with the women last week, now they cut the segment with the Raw Women's Champion. 3 hours. Why are you even cutting stuff on this show? What ran long tonight that something would have been cut? That's why I said I'm not sure if maybe this is going to end up being part of an angle. I don't think it will, but I guess we'll wait and see. But we did not hear from Bianca. We did not see her on the show. The main event was Cody Rhodes against Finn Balor. First time ever. Balor was working over Cody's surgically repaired pec. Rhodes hit a superplex following the final ad break. They exchanged punches until Rhodes hit him with a Cody cutter for 2. Big pop, too, for the Cody cutter. Can't be, though. It can't be, because some people on the internet told me that Cody Rhodes is not over. So maybe they piped in the reaction. I don't know. I could see people clapping, though. It's kind of strange. Balor countered a Crossroads attempt with a sling blade. Cody came back with a super kick for 2. The Judgment Day surrounded Cody after Balor kicked him out of the ring, and this is where Edge came back. This time he came down the steps through the crowd. He knocked down Priest. He gave Dominic a spear. Rhea Ripley attacked Edge. That brought out Beth Phoenix from the back, and she speared Ripley the same way that she did at the Royal Rumble. In the ring, Balor hit a shotgun dropkick. He went to the top, but he got distracted by Edge jumping up on the apron. That gave Cody enough time to avoid the coup de grace. Rhodes gave Balor not 1, not 2, but 3 consecutive crossroads, and he pinned him. And the crowd was into the finish. And they popped for Cody's win, and then Cody, he kind of flashed a salute to Edge and Beth, and Edge gave him one back from afar to close out the show. So this felt to me like this was setting up a 6-person tag for Elimination Chamber. This is probably going to be something for Cody and Rhea to do before they get to their big matches at WrestleMania. It'd probably be Cody, Edge, and Beth against Balor, Priest, or it could be Dominic if Priest gets into the... Actually, you know what? If Priest is going to qualify for the Chamber, then it would be Balor, Dominic, and Rhea. And so I see that being the potential match for it, because they're going to want to have Cody on that show in some way, and Rhea. And if they're not doing Rhea and Beth one-on-one, then this is the likely outcome here. So when the show was over, I liked it. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it more than last week. Again, everything felt like it had a purpose. I enjoyed, there's no match that stands out like a great match you have to go out of your way to see. The main event I thought was good. The Rollins match with Gable was good. Nothing blow away, but, everything made sense. Bronson Reed, they're continuing to build him bit by bit. We have a bunch of people now who have qualified for the Chamber. They're going to make us wait until Friday to get more clarity on this whole situation with the Bloodline, which is fine, and it's probably smart on their part. I did see the Jey Uso Instagram post yesterday where he just said, "I'm out." Very vague enough to, kind of give you a sense, oh, is he out of the Bloodline? But he didn't say he was out of the Bloodline, right? That's why you got to tune in. You got to tune into SmackDown to find out. But I like this edition of Raw. Let's see if you did. You did. 65.7% thumbs up. 23% thumbs in the middle. And roughly 11% thumbs down. So again, go ahead and vote at Solomonster. And another reason that you should go follow me at Solomonster, if you want to potentially win a free Foco bobblehead. Foco has a whole line. That's Foco. A whole line of WWE bobbleheads on their website. They've got a bunch of them that are sold out and back ordered and pre-order coming soon. There's a cool one, a DX one with Shawn Michaels and Triple H on a tank. And it's sold out right now. It's very popular. But if you want to win one, go to my Twitter page at Solomonster. I tweeted earlier today. Go find the tweet. It'll give you all the instructions on what you need to do to enter the contest. And I'm going to be picking a winner at random in the next few days. So if you want to get in on that bobblehead contest, go bobble your way over to Twitter at Solomonster. And perhaps you will end up with your very own DX bobblehead. Now, before I get to your... I see you. Before I get to your Super Chats, I do want to give a shout out here to a certain someone. I've got a podcast for you guys to add to your list. It's called Accidentally Intentional with Zoe Asher. It is a show that focuses on you and developing all of the relationships in your life, be it with friends, with coworkers, intimate partners. 70% of people don't have anybody in their life they can call in the middle of a crisis. Which is actually really, really, really sad. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. But the show is dedicated to bringing that percentage down to zero by building what's called relational wealth to make you a different type of rich. This is her passion. It's to help others. She might just be able to help you too. So search for Accidentally Intentional on YouTube. It's also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. So definitely give that a listen. And again, the videos as well are up on her YouTube channel. So let's take a look at your Super Chats, including the one that scared the bejesus out of me. Thank you, Nick. Before we went live tonight. Nick Grasso. I kid Nick. We love Nick. We love Nick here on this channel. Yes, we do. For the Royal Rumble stream on Saturday, you guys, There were so many messages to go through. It broke, like it was repeating super chats. So you actually broke the super chats. So I had to fix something. But it's a good problem to have. You guys rocked it on Saturday. We were up until almost 4 o'clock in the morning reading super chats. Thomas is the first one here tonight. Thomas Colella with the $5 super chat. Let me hear what you think. Jay will cost Sammy the title at Elimination Chamber, and that is how you set up a tag team title match at WrestleMania. That sounds so good. It's almost like I've talked about that on the podcast before. It's amazing. But yes, that's exactly what's going to happen, I believe. Peter Quartieri with a $9.99. The Rumble was epic the other night. He says, what's up, all? The Rumble finish was epic. The Rumble pay-per-view was not, but the Rumble finish was epic. We have a naughty, delicious chicken with flavor. I am in love with the Sami Zayn Bloodline storyline. In my opinion, one of the best WWE storylines in company history. Easily, yeah. Easily. Yeah, it's funny. I said the other night, it's the best storyline that WWE has produced in 2 decades. I had one person who I believe is a member here on the channel. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, well, you may be reaching when you say 2 decades. And I said, first of all, I don't reach. But I said, name me another one. Think back over the past 2 decades, right? The Daniel Bryan one stands out, even though they kind of fell ass backwards into that one. But as great as that one was, and you could probably come up with other really good ones, I said, name me another one from the last 20 years. He couldn't do it. So, well, that's why I said it. You know? But it absolutely is one of the very best stories this company has ever told. Aussie of Steel. Mike Rome is not my favorite, but I love the way he says the American Nightmare. Yeah, he says it pretty well. It's everyone has their signature. I feel like for him, that's kind of his. You know? There was a way Justin Roberts used to announce John Cena, which a lot of people hated. But he would announce John Cena a certain way and the Undertaker a certain way. Everybody kind of has their signature. Tony Chimmel, right? When Edge would come out, he was the rated R superstar, right? So that's what he did. That's what Chimmel was known for. That's what Tony Chimmel did. I don't think Chimmel works there anymore. But that's what Chimmel did.
A rated R superstar.
Justin Logue, Asuka got hot. Me likey. Apparently she got so hot that Justin can't speak. Schwartzy with the $3. Solo, hope you get some rest. You got some rest. I got a little bit of rest. I didn't get nearly as much as I needed to. How great would a 2-hour Raw be? I would pay USA Network a monthly fee to drop that brutal 3rd hour. May the Schwartz be with you. It would be quite good. Nick Grasso at the 1999. What happened? Oh, this is the one. This is the one right here. This is the one that scared me before I went live. What happened to that Bianca Belair segment we were supposed to get? Did they just forget? Not a fan of Rhea choosing Charlotte, but I understand why they did it. And for Bianca, I want to see her face murder clown Asuka and not Becky. I agree. Justin Jack with the $2. Monday Night Raw or Winged Dragon of Raw. Don't start channeling your inner Luis here. Winter's Paw. It's amazing how having one top guy changes the feeling of an entire show. Plus, the women got plenty of TV time, and Carmella is back. Great show tonight. We are almost at 500 likes. You guys are killing it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Grimsley with the $5. Let Becky Bayley have 25 plus minutes. Give Asuka the Raw title for a really good run. Always listening on Spotify, but I managed to sneak in tonight. Well, Grimsley, I'm glad you're here tonight. Hopefully you can sneak in a little more often. We're here 3 times a week every week, except this week. There will be no stream on Friday night. No SmackDown review this week. I have House of Glory obligations on Friday night. But we'll be back next week. Grimsley also says, Fabulomos. Oh, sorry. F-A-B-U-L, I can't even spell. F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S. Boy, he's a big Carmella fan, huh? F-A-B-U-L-O-U-S. Rodimus Prime. Oh, there she is. The lovely Katrina. In that super chat. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. Ding, 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 indeed. We just hit 500 likes. You guys are beasts. Let's do 550. Rodimus says, an okay show tonight, but with Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania coming up, everything is looking good. So far, so good. EJ Slemp. I broke up a fist fight between 2 coaches after a first grade basketball game at work the other day, and unlike Tony Khan, my boss actually punished them. Boy, they really take that stuff seriously, don't they? If you're a coach, you should never get into a fist fight over a first grade basketball game. If you get into a fist fight over a first grade basketball game, your priorities are fucked. Queen Fire Panda with the $10 super chat. Where are all my Omos fans? Homo sapiens, please stand up and make your voices heard. That better not become a thing. Justin, you're late. You're late. EJ Slemp forgot to send this during the Rumble stream that I prefer horses with glasses named Hardy over country singers with glasses named Hardy. Well, EJ, you have very good taste. I will tell you. I wish that everybody would prefer horses named Hardy with glasses. In fact, I hear there's a children's book on Amazon right now called The Adventure of Hardy the Horse that would be right up your alley. So go ahead and check that out. David Fields. Is that, oh, our boy JM. Look at this. Our boy JM is chiming in. He's been a channel member. He's been a Sound Up legend for 15 months. Although he's got a ways to go before he catches Roman Reigns in the run that he's on. But he's just getting ready to go to work. I'm doing very well, JM. I'm glad you can join us. David Fields, do you think Sammy and Owens against the Usos have a chance to main event night 1 of WrestleMania? Yeah, I mean, they have a chance, but I think it's going to be Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like to me. I think they're going to give it to them. Jesus Gomez, $10 super chat. Been a fan since Super Showdown 2020, although I just lurk and watch due to not having anything interesting to say. Got a job interview tomorrow. I'm nervous about it. Been unemployed since October. Well, Jesus, I think you're going to do just fine. Everybody's nervous. I haven't been on a job interview in many, many years, but your nerves will go away. They'll settle. And I believe that everything is going to be just fine. I believe in you, Jesus. I do. I think you're going to kill it. I don't know what the job is. I don't know if you want to share that, what the industry is or anything like that, but I think you're going to do just fine. I'm rooting for you. Thank you for the love. Grimsley, Ray should have used a condom. That's a Paul Heyman-esque super chat right there. Zachariah with the 1999. I was at the show tonight. The smart marks who say Cody ain't over enough to defeat Roman are full of it. The building was electric for him. Keep up the good work, Solomonster, Mazel Tov. Hey, here I thought that, boy, WWE must be piping in the noise, because I had a few people on the internet tell me that Cody ain't over. that he's a mid-card jobber at best. They said he wasn't over in AEW either. Is it possible these people are actually wrong and have no fucking idea what they're talking about? That couldn't be possible. That couldn't be possible at all. Rizzo. My God, that damn Bane voice. I'm playing Manhunt and I got the lights off listening to the stream and I hear that super chat scream. It is a little unnerving. Thomas, I agree about Gable. Should be used better. HBKC83. So while listening to the podcast on Sunday night at work, I noticed sirens in the background. What the hell is going on out there in Brooklyn? You don't want to know. If it's not sirens, it's an airplane overhead because JFK Airport's not that far from here. If it's not that, it's dogs barking. It's always something. I just want to live in an underground bunker. That's what I want. I want an underground soundproof bunker. And I could just sit there. I probably don't get good internet down there, but if I had a soundproof underground bunker, I could just sit down there and record and stream and do everything I need to do. That would make me happy. Slipper House, extra, extra. Long live Pastor Solomonster. Why is Chelsea Green doing a Karen character? Bayley is doing it naturally already. I think Chelsea is going to do a better job than Bayley. I think she's going to nail that character. Samoan fan, is it me or did Nia Jax gain weight? Well, we don't need to talk about that. I don't want to talk about Nia Jax. Why are you're ruining the stream? Why would we even discuss this? Vince will be the referee in the women's chamber. That's what Samoan fan says. Sam Dankman Weed, DX hijacked the sound off production truck. Is that what happened with the voices? They hijacked the stream? Slim Yoshi with the $10. I see Triple H hasn't forgiven Vince for making the wrong call at WrestleMania. Good on him for righting the wrong. As for Becky, the only thing I see for her at WrestleMania is a third match with Bayley. Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but I suppose they could drag this out to a third match. I guess we'll see what happens in the cage match next week. There's got to be a reason to run that back. And WrestleMania, it's still 2 months away. So can they keep this interesting long enough? That would be my question. I don't know. Dr. Dakota Scorpio, months ago I said Ali is like an annoying internet troll that won't go away. My super chat has aged well so far. It has aged well, just like me. And Asuka. You believe that Asuka's the same age as me? Richie with the $2. Hey, does that mean I have a shot? Who's going to be the heel for Charlotte and Rhea? To the crowd? I think we already know the answer to that question. DEH Sires, per Fightful, Bianca promo was an error. That's even worse. What kind of Mickey Mouse operation are they running in that truck? Pillow v. Pillow, do you think Steve Austin would have been as over if he drank White Claws instead of beers? I think to that audience back then, Steve Austin, if you had him out there drinking fucking milk, he would have been over all the same. DEH. Lord. Did you catch Roman telling Solo at the end of the Royal Rumble, we are at war? I did. He said, we are at war. And he was talking only to Solo, though, not to Jimmy Uso, which was very interesting. He said, we'll take no prisoners. Veneer Roman Reigns is another man compared to 2015 Roman. I said that was the first thing I noticed when Roman came back in 2020. Everybody said he's got new teeth. So yes, Veneer Roman Reigns is better than non-veneer. Veneer Roman Reigns is better than the blue-eye contact Roman Reigns. It's been an incredible transformation. Brumakian Productions. Thank you for the $2, Brumakian. I hope you're having a good night. Merlot Williams. Just finished your Royal Rumble review from last night. Gonna have to catch the replay for this one. Showing love for all your work And rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, hashtag Demboys. King Bling Blah, hey Siri, tell me a joke. You see, I turned it off. So my watch doesn't go off anymore. I'd be doing the podcast. I'd be in the middle of just a great rant, or in the middle of just a great speech about something, and I would say the wrong word. I'd be talking about Alexa or something. My fucking watch would go off. It would ruin the whole thing. So I said, I'm turning it off. No more. Jamin John, Robert Downey's quote from Tropic Thunder describes MJF's gimmick. He's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. All right, dude. Fire Panda, thank you for the $2. Oh my goodness. And Sam Dankman Weed is Cat's Deli, the Sparrows of Delicatessen. How dare you? Cat's Deli. Sparrows ain't got nothing on Cat's Deli. I mean, it's like comparing Taco Bell to fucking filet mignon from Wolfgang Puck Steakhouse or something. I don't know why. I don't know why you would even make that comparison. Been a while since I had anything from Cat's Deli, but Cat's Deli is the shit. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about that. Hey, Kevin Dunn, thank you. Tell her I'm flattered. Nick, yeah, I mean, I watched it before I did the podcast yesterday. If you missed it, Jay Briscoe's funeral was live streamed online. You can find it. It's archived online. It's a very good, sad obviously, but a very, very good service. Mark Briscoe, I thought, did, an incredible job with his speech. No notes, no preparation, just speaking off the cuff and from the heart about his brother and who he really was. And if you didn't see any of it, at least the Mark Briscoe speech, you should make some time to go find that and check that out. It's the Laurel School District, and there's more than one Laurel School District. It's the one in Delaware, so you may have to search. But if you type in Jamin Pugh, P-U-G-H, it's archived. The whole ceremony's up on YouTube, and obviously a lot of friends and family there, and people from the local community, but also a lot of wrestlers there. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Tony Khan, Chris Jericho. A lot of Ring of Honor people were there, obviously. Adam Cole, Britt Baker. I mean, there's a huge turnout for the service. Food Hive says, you're still alive. LOL. Yeah, somehow. I don't know how. That was a rough night. It's why I hate Saturday pay-per-views. When you have a podcast to do the next day, I know most people love Saturday pay-per-views, and I get it. There was a time when I would have loved them. But when you have a long show like that, it is fucking brutal. Like, I'm already dreading the AEW pay-per-view. Like, it's weird. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm dreading it all at the same time. It's just, when they go so late like that, it just wrecks me for the next day and a half. But you know me. We're not going to have a Sunday go by with no pay-per-view. Anyway, thank you for helping me smash the likes goal. The goal tonight was 400, and we are currently over 530, which is awesome. So every time you guys hit the like button, it helps the video out a lot. It really does make a difference. It's not a vanity thing. It's gets us into the algorithm, and people search out for Raw reviews and wrestling videos. This one will pop up. So thank you again for that. But because we smashed our goal, it is that time of night. So let's get right into it, and let us be the booker.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to be the booker.
Well, if WWE is not going to put Bianca on TV, I'll put her here in the thumbnail for Be the Booker. I just gave you more Bianca Belair than they did tonight. There you go. The EST. Could be the EST and the Murder Clown at WrestleMania. All right, so let's begin here with the men. This is the final Be the Booker for the month of January. This has been a horrendous month of Be the Booker. If this was a real territory, I would have booked this territory out of existence. So I would love to say that we will end on a high note here, but I'm a little afraid. So let's see how this goes. We begin. Jesus Christ. Why even bother at this point? We just wrap this thing up right here and now. Mae Young's hand. Look at this fucking geek. Mae Young's hand. It's unbelievable. We've never had a month this bad before. It's just amazing. Mae Young's hand against the immortal Hulk Hogan. God, I love that belt. There it is, the classic winged eagle. If Cody Rhodes wins the championship and brings back that, he'll be my new favorite wrestler. It'll never happen, but one can dream. They love their big logo belts. What can I say? Every time there's a... You'll see when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, WWE is going to send their big giant logo belts to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to send one to Patrick Mahomes. They love their logo belts. All right, so on the women's side here, we begin with Kelly Kelly. I can see this is already going in a great direction here. Kelly Kelly. Going to be taking on... Oh, my God. I don't know what level of hell this match would be taking place in. Kelly Kelly and Lacey Von Erich. Easy on the eyes. Two very beautiful women, don't get me wrong, but you stick them in the ring for a wrestling match. I mean, that's like the seventh circle of hell. I'm speechless at how awful this is. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Let's try tag teams. We begin with, all right, here we go. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. We begin with FTR. Look at them, draped in gold here. Ring of Honor tag team titles, AAA mega belts. Of course, they have no titles left now, but FTR had their best year in 2022. Surely this is going to be a bell and not a buzzer. FTR and the Natural Disaster. You know what? Fuck you, giving this a bell. I liked the Natural Disasters as a kid. Look at those belts. Come to think of it, all the old belts are better than the current belts. Why are the current belts so inferior to the old designs? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I had a friend of mine who commented, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. He doesn't even watch wrestling anymore. And even he commented, he said, what happened to the belts? I go, what do you mean? He goes, they used to look so much better. I said, I know. The music used to be better. They've got to bring back Jim Johnston. Just bring everything back. Can we do that? Can we bring everything back? Oh, man. The Shockmaster, yes. Oh, Uncle Fred. Fire Panda, thank you for the $3. Near with a super chat. Says, tough times over here these days. Pray for peace. I'm thinking about you, brother. Every time I hear a story like that, I always think about you. So hopefully you stay safe. Food Hive. In the words of George Costanza, you completely butchered, by the way, the spelling of Costanza. I don't know what the hell. Anyway, George Costanza, Be the Booker has hand, he says. And SNK Fan 01, Montez and Bianca should join the Hurt Business. They don't need to join the Hurt Business. I think the two of them could be a great heel combo one day. They don't need to join another faction. I think they'd be fine on their own. Food Hive says, I would go 2-on-1 with Kelly and Lacey. I bet you would. Right? You'd probably make them dinner too, right? You would make them dinner, but you wouldn't go 2-on-1. We all know that, right? We all know that. Food Hive, he would set an extra plate at the table for Smurfettes. We all know that, right? We know Food Hive likes to sing songs and sing sweet nothings to his lovely Smurfette. I love my Smurfette. I can't go a day without her. I would make her a lovely meal. I would make her squeal because I love my Smurfette. You're pathetic. You know that? You make me sick. Rizzo with the $2. I would watch the Lacey Kelly match. And Sam Dankman Weed, Golga and Tuggy Tugboat always get the bell. Yeah, they were a good team. Food Hive is appalled. Solo is out of control tonight, and what can I say? I feel like half the time I'm more entertaining than the shows that I'm reviewing. Well, it's been a very busy week. So I want to thank everybody who has supported all the streams last week, the Royal Rumble, Raw tonight. Again, this is the final stream here for January. We're going to kick things off on Wednesday with AEW Dynamite. No SmackDown stream on Friday night. We got House of Glory at the NYC Arena. I will be doing that, and then back with you for all the usual streams the following week. If you missed episode 793, it went up very late yesterday, but it is up. Well over 90 minutes. Talking Royal Rumble Fallout and a bunch of other stuff, so definitely go ahead and check out the podcast. Food Hive says, please make that a Food Hive super chat. We'll see. I've had 5 different times today, people going, make that a super chat, make that a super chat. I don't mark any of this down, so you're going to make me go back through the video and see what the hell you guys are talking about. Sam says, does Vinny, Rue, and Cornette get the bell? Oh, of course. Of course. If I ever landed on Vinny, Rue, and Cornette, see, that's a match I would pay to see. I would pay good money to see that match. Preferably in a cage with weapons hanging from the side of it. You kidding me? I'd pay good money to see that. I'd pay money to see. That's the one time I would watch that stupid Dana White slap fight show. If you put Vinny, Rue, and Cornette face to face on Power Slap, I would watch that. Wait, Blissfan is still going off on the Alexa Bliss. Blissfan has been just absolutely out of control all night long. He has been in such a funk and a depression since Saturday. I'm a little worried about you, Blissfan. I need you back here next week. I need you to be okay. I need you to be stable. I feel like if I ever walked into Blissfan's home, there would be, it would be like a darkened room with candles everywhere, and there would be Alexa Bliss photos all over the place. It'd be all over the walls, and some Bray Wyatt puppet dolls over here, and I'm worried about you. But in a weird way, I respect how consistent that he is. There's a certain respect, I think, that needs to be shown here. SNK says, tell Master P to sign you to a record deal. And Food Hive says, this motherfucker just roasted me in a song. I hate it here. Oh, you love it. Please. You love it. You know it. Wellness check on BlissFan. Yeah, we got to make sure BlissFan is okay. BlissFan will be back here for AEW Dynamite. Hey, you know what, BlissFan? Look, if Alexa Bliss ends up not liking her booking and her contract runs out, we may see Alexa Bliss on AEW Dynamite. Would you watch AEW every week if Alexa was on AEW? She would have a different name. That's the question I have. Would you still follow Alexa if she went somewhere else? If Alexa Bliss went to Stardom, would you follow Alexa Bliss in Stardom? If we had Julia one-on-one with Alexa Bliss, what kind of match would that be? I feel like those women would break her in half in the first 10 seconds of the match. This shit's good. Bliss against Britt Baker. Sounds like a 5-star match. Alexa Bliss against Mercedes Moné. I'm still flabbergasted that they're having that Battle in the Valley the same night, same time as Elimination Chamber. Because I want to see that show, and I don't know when I'll get to see it, because obviously I'm not watching that Battle in the Valley live. So what a fucking fail that is, putting that on the same night. I don't know what they were thinking. Turtlehead says, I missed Maze the Great's question. Maze the Great? Did I? Well, let's see. Before I get out of here, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's see. Maze the Great. You better be talking about a super chat, too. Not the green box. The green box is not a super chat. Those, I can't see all those. But I did not see a super chat here. No, I don't see anything from Maze the Great. So you may have been referring to one of the member-only messages. That's in a different window. I don't have them in the same window. So I usually read those after the fact. Whatever I miss there, I read those after the fact. But Maze, I love you, brother. It's a green box. Yeah, it's a green box. So again, green boxes, I catch those when I can, but the green boxes, those are member messages. Those are not super chats. So that when I put the super chats on the screen and you see the column, that's what I'm reading from. Those don't go in there. That's why those don't always get read. Sam Dankman Weed. Alexa is the Wish version of Liv Morgan. And Rizzo says, what dummy did that? I would watch that as well, but not over Elimination Chamber. Talk to New Japan. They booked the show. It's a New Japan show, so you can put the blame on them. All right, so Maze says, buy or sell. Who is the better wrestler despite their personal problems? Perk Angle or Douche Michaels from 96-97? I mean, if we're talking at that time, I think 97 Michaels was untouchable. And I love Kurt Angle, but 97 Michaels, whatever he was on, was untouchable that year. He was on another level from everybody else. The U.S. title that Theory is holding looks nicer than the two that Roman had. I think the U.S. belt now is too big. It doesn't look bad. I just think it's a little too big. You know, the main title. I get the main titles being the biggest, physically biggest belts. I think the U.S. is too big. Jade Cargill would destroy Alexa. Jade Cargill, she's like 3 times the size of Alexa Bliss. She's a bodybuilder. I would expect her to break Alexa in half. Perk Angle was just a different kind of crazy. I've told you the story, the Impact show I went to here in New York, and I got in the ring when the show was over, and I got to meet Kurt. We got a Polaroid and all that. It was a good gimmick they had going at the time. And it's the far off kind of distant look in his eyes. It was kind of scary, to be honest with you. And he wrestled a good match with Christian that night. And, think of all the matches that he went in there and had during that run. Just excellent matches. But it just looked like he just wasn't all there. It's amazing how he was able to operate like that. And Sam says 2005 laryngitis Kurt was underrated. 2005 is when he had the matches with Shawn Michaels, including the WrestleMania match, one of the best Mania matches of all time. Yeah, Kurt also at that time, Kurt was on another level. He was incredible. Kurt's one of the GOATs for sure. Deputy Dog, probably not until 2K23 comes out. I feel like we're too far. I don't know. I feel like we're too far removed from the 2K22 gamers, and 2K23 is going to be out probably in like a month or 6 weeks. And if it's out for PC and Steam, I'm going to pick it up. So I'm waiting to see if the new 2K23 game is going to be on PC when it first comes out. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, the last two, and Elimination Chamber match. Last two in the Elimination Chamber match. Well, I mean, unless they shoot some kind of an angle, we already have the final two that are going to qualify next week, and neither one of them are in the match. So why would Brock be in a U.S. title chamber match? That doesn't make any sense. Unless he's winning it, which he definitely does not need to do. I don't think you are correct there. Solomonster is a PC guy. I've always been a PC guy. I don't own any consoles of my own, so it's not like I have one that I can connect. It's either on PC or it's not. It's very simple. Same thing with Fight Forever. When Fight Forever comes out, which it looks like might be around May or June. If it's for PC, I'll definitely pick it up. We'll do a gamer on that, see how fun that game is. If you guys want more gamer content. You know what I always wanted to do? Gamer content for? And I actually lied when I said I don't have any consoles. It's just that I bought it, and I haven't played it in a while, but Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch. That's why I bought the Switch. And this was a few years ago. And I love Mario Kart. And I was like looking for ways for me to somehow connect it to the computer so I can stream gameplay, and I just wasn't able to figure out a way to do it. So if I ever did figure out an easy way to do it, I might add that gameplay too, but it just didn't work out. I'm sorry, Mario Kart. Here we go again. Mario Kart. Jesus. You know what? I will not allow you to bully me. Griga, thank you for the $2. If you're going to bully me, I'm going to leave. Griga, thank you for the $2. I'm going to head out. Thank you again for all the love tonight. Appreciate it. We will be back on Wednesday night. We'll be talking AEW Dynamite as we kick off the month of February. So be well. Stay safe. And I will see you guys back here for the Dynamite stream on Wednesday night. I'm going to go play some Super Mario Brothers.